Welcome to the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise podcast with global sales trainer and professional speaker, Lois Kofi. Each week, it is her goal to share inspiration and education for you to be, do, have the best health and wealth and wisdom for your life.
Well, all right. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy March 12th. My name is Lois Kofi, and I'm super excited to have another amazing guest on my Healthy and Wealthy and Wise live show. If you're not already in my Facebook community, please get inside so you can meet my guest sooner rather than later. All of my guests are inside the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise Facebook community, and they're all health experts. They're all wealth experts. And they all have some form of wisdom and knowledge that literally could transform your life in the moment. And I think today's guest, especially, I've heard from you guys like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tune in and listen to Nicole today. So I'm really excited. Just as a reminder, we want you to live your best life. We know that last year was kind of crazy, and this year is still feeling the residue of that. And along the way, your mindset may have been impacted, or your health or your finances. So our goal here today, as in every week, is to help you have some awakening, have an opportunity to look in the mirror or just shift your paradigm and start living your highest and best self. So again, my name is Lois Kofi. I'm the host each and every week, sales trainer, and really want to help bring healing to the sales and business community. So I'm going to go ahead and move out of the way and introduce to you the Empowerment Alchemist. I know I'm probably saying that right, because you're the first alchemist I've ever had on my show. So Nicole Majik, she's got a bachelor's degree in biology, chemistry, and a master's in metaphysics, which I love. She's a strategist on empowerment and leadership. She's an educator, and she has a really cool, effective program called the Alchemy of Transformation. So what does that mean? She's going to tell us more, but essentially she's awakening your true potential, erasing limiting beliefs, and showing you how to live the life you deserve, which I love, without compromising who you are. So Nicole, please tell us more about, how the heck did you become an alchemist and why do you do what you do?
Lois, thanks for having me today. And hi to everybody out there. I have done what I do because I've always seen and felt energies. I've seen auras all my life. And so there's this part of me that is really in tune with all the energies around me. Plus my scientific side of things. I was always inquisitive as a kid and just always wanted to learn more about things and people and just what I would experience, especially when I found out that I was different, right? Couple that with in my adult life and all like at different points of my life, there have been these pockets where all of a sudden major adversities would come into play. It was like this whole rock your world kind of energy of we're just taking the carpet right out from under you. And I'm sure that there are plenty of people out there that can relate to that type of disruption in your life. And it's about the perception. How we look at things is how we then react. Our beliefs are basically governing our emotions, our thoughts, and our actions and behaviors, which creates that reality for us. So it all depends on what way we were looking at it. So having to go through different iterations of this in my life and coming out on top, at first it was major struggles and like, why this? Why me? What is going on? Why? And then moving into these phases of really embracing things and looking at them a different way, I was able to take a lot of experience, knowledge, and also quantum physics and energy and put it into this program to radically change people's lives, sometimes instantaneously. When you're ready, you're ready.
That's awesome. And you talk about disruptions. Well, 2020 had a lot of those for a lot of us, but I think a lot of it, you said something that really resonates with me, because a lot of us feel different at some point in our time, especially if you're different. Like I always joke, I'm the black sheep of my family of origin, right? I was always kind of stirring the pot and different. And that can be lonely. And a lot of times you can have those fears and traumas from childhood still trigger you decades later. So maybe if you can talk about how you overcame that, because a lot of people in this healthy and wealthy wise community are like me, like attracts like. We've been through some stuff. We've felt like the weird person. And even though I joke, I'm proud of that, it can be very lonely. So how did you overcome that? And any specific testimonials that you can share would be powerful, because none of us were taught, at least I wasn't, metaphysics or quantum physics as kids either. So I think that would have helped, don't you?
Totally would have helped because, and I've taught my kids that, so they have a really good grasp of different things and mindset and all of that. That's why my second son is actually in special ops training in the Air Force right now. But to answer your question, Lois, yes, back in my childhood, it was very lonely because even though I got along with everybody, I felt alone. There were things that I couldn't talk about. There were things that I couldn't say about me because I grew up in what I like to call a radically Christian household. And the things that I could do, the abilities that I had, were not looked at as gifts. They were, of the devil and like all this stuff because it wasn't understood. That wasn't understood. And then I realized, looking back, that having to be stifled like that really caused a ripple effect in my life of not being heard, not being seen. I always said, I just like to fly under the radar. I didn't want to fly under the radar. My thoughts became, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I was brilliant. I was in the top 1% in the nation through all these programs that I was in. And from childhood, like from first grade all the way up to seventh grade, I was in pilot programs, and it was, I forget what they called it because they used to say things about us because it was like the gifted program, the gifted kids. So, and I have a weird twist on that. I'm writing about that for a book too. So it's kind of funny because as I was writing this book or chapter in a book that I'm in, I realized that there's a pattern with these programs that we went through. And when I analyzed it, knowing what I know now, I was like, whoa, this was total guinea pigs, children guinea pigs.
Wow. And it's so powerful what you're talking about, because I see it all the time. That's why you and I are great referral partners, because I sell, I teach people how to sell with excellence, speak their truth online, start a podcast, monetize an email list, all of the tactics and the strategies. And I talk affirmations and things, but would you say that this is accurate? At least this has been my experience. You can say all the affirmations you want. You can read all the books, the personal, self-help books and Tony Robbins seminars and all of the things. However, until you address those limiting beliefs, you're really just spinning your wheels, and you're going to put a cap on your relationships, your money, all of that. Would that be accurate?
Very accurate. And what I can say is that's trying to reverse engineer the program. And what I mean by that is you're trying to do it backwards. You're trying to go about it the backwards way, where a lot of people teach like, oh, if you just say these affirmations over and over and over again, you're basically just trying to brainwash yourself into thinking something opposite of the belief that you actually have, instead of just going in and plucking that belief out from its roots. It takes so much longer to get there doing it that way. And until you actually bring all the elements together, with that, you're not going to manifest. So there's a formula to manifesting. So it's, you can say all these things. I like to say this because I had an experience many years ago with somebody who came up to me at a fair, and this was somebody that came to me regularly when I was doing some aura photography and stuff like that. And we got into the whole affirmations thing. Well, I say all my affirmations, I do the things, why is it not working for me? So I asked a few questions, and what it came down to was, yeah, I do my 5 minutes of affirmations in the day, I go about my day, and I gripe about everything and just go right back to my negative patterns. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, why has this not worked for me? Because you're not actually believing it. Whatever belief you have is going to win out. So you can pretend you have a belief and you can have a belief. So which one is which? That one's going to win out, the one that you actually believe in more.
So maybe explain too, because I don't know how many people out there, because I grew up in a pretty conservative space as well. I wish I didn't find the stuff that you speak of until my 30s, right? And by then, they say your brain is fully developed by 25, and you have all this, for lack of a better term, programming or baggage that you're carrying with you into all of your relationships. And so how does the alchemy of transformation awaken someone's potential? And if you can give us the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah. So basically with the alchemy of transformation, we delve in and figure out what are your limiting beliefs. We then I tend to catalog where they're coming from. Our patterns are made up of many beliefs. So, and different beliefs can feed into different patterns. So depending on what your triggers are, what your patterns are, how you react, we take all of that into consideration. And then we start designing a program for you. So if it's more of that one-to-one, like define your desire mastermind stuff that I'm doing, or in the membership program, it tackles it in different ways. So some people, I in the membership, it's more of we have a monthly theme. We're tackling one piece each month, and it kind of builds on itself. And it also goes in different areas of your life. So it's not just one thing, but it's one concept.
Well, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience anyway. So it's like the health and the wealth and the wisdom. I mean, there's so many facets to us. And how would you work with someone? Because I see this is probably the most common. That's why I'm so passionate, and why I called this Healthy and Wealthy and Wise is people just believe, and that I had this belief, so I resonate with this. We have to work really hard, maybe 6 days a week, 7 days a week, long hours. We have to make it happen, right? we gotta push, the numbers game and all of that kind of stuff. And then it could compromise our health, right? So why are we, especially in America, it seems like we're so hardwired and led to believe that what I now believe is a lie, when it just comes down to being true to yourself and untapping that true potential. Do you see that a lot with your clients, or what do you see the most of?
Yeah, there's a lot of that, the epigenetics that have carried down from our ancestors, because you had to work harder, you had to work smarter, you had to work all this stuff. You had to work harder because that's what they did. Well, times change. Technology has given us tools, and we don't have to work harder, but we tend to think so, that we have to take on more, do more, work harder, work longer. You want something, you have to work hard for it. And there's all these idioms that we have taken in as our beliefs that, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. No, you don't. If you want something done right, you got to delegate that out. Right? Because you can't do everything. You don't know everything. And it does take a toll on our health, because what are you sacrificing? In order to take on more, you have to sacrifice something: time, energy, money, health, sleep, right? And it all just starts snowballing into something that's ridiculous. That's why I suffered through mercury poisoning and almost died. And I was working and working and working and doing more work and building my business and working in the chemistry lab and doing all the things. I was the sole provider for my family of 6, and it was go, go, go. And when the signs came up, I just thought, oh, it's just stress. What do we strong women do? Oh, it's just stress from my job. No big deal. It'll pass. I'll get through it. I'll just push through because I have to work harder, longer, more to provide. And then it knocked me to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where I pulled together the Alchemy of Transformation, was the struggle that I had to go through for that. I had been building the experience up since I was 12 and decided, I'm sick and tired of everybody taking advantage of me. I'm sick and tired of being afraid to answer a question. I'm sick and tired of being the one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I started
you shouldered a lot.
Yeah. I started pushing myself and I started discovering more of myself. So there was that side of me that really started growing and developing at an early age. So when I got into the adult ages, I actually had a near-death experience that rocked my world. And then came the mercury poisoning.
Wow.
So all through it, there was all these different levels of bringing on a lot of information on how to get places in our mind, in our bodies, in our health, wealth, all the things very quickly. And that's what I started working on was, okay, I had to focus away from all of the other people in my life that were sucking the energy and life out of me. And really look at what is in alignment with my truth, my passion, my purpose, because all the rest will then just follow through. So you don't have to worry about your kids. You don't have to worry about any of your loved ones, friends, whatever, because those will fall into line. They'll fall into place.
So awesome. I'm just going to share a couple of this is the fun part, guys. If you're listening on the recording, you missed out. She's giving you a shout out. Tara, I think she's on the East Coast. She's loving this topic. Sean in Minnesota, he's got an engineer and a woo-woo side, both intrigued in this very much. So guys, I don't want to forget, it's been up on the screen. Please ask your questions, especially if you've never heard of alchemy or metaphysics. It's really, really important to me that you guys learn about these things, because these are the tools that helped me unpack a lot of trauma. And it's kind of cool. You and I reconnected, I believe, because we're both speaking our truth.
Mm-hmm.
We're both going out there. You knew me as the network marketing lady, right? And I discovered a year and a half ago that I'm like, is that really who I want to be known as? I want to be known as Lois. And I started unpacking my fears and my limiting beliefs and working less, which a lot of people probably still don't believe, because they're like, we see you everywhere. That's my VA. Okay, just so we're clear. That's not me. She's doing the work. I delegated, right? I'm working smarter as opposed to that fake it till you make it, hamster on the wheel, just go, 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 go. So would you say that you've seen your own shift in you since the pandemic and going after it and moving forward and erasing those limiting beliefs in your business?
Yeah, a couple of years before the pandemic hit, I was really shifting gears. And, there was another iteration of the foundation getting rumbling and crumbling. And it seemed like everything was falling apart if you were on the outside looking in. But where I stood, again, it's that perception. I was like, wow, this is just getting disrupted because it wasn't in alignment with where I'm going, what I'm doing, and what my truth, passion, and purpose are. So I looked at it a very different way. And when people found out what's going on, like the divorce, and my oldest son was going through a lot of, addiction stuff. So he had his own struggle. I had to surrender him, homeless on the streets, doing God knows what. And, packing up my house, selling the house, moving the kids and myself, and plus a ton of other stuff. And to me, it was, all right, here we are, here's another day, here's what we're doing. And I loved my life all through that. I loved every single day. And people would look and hear and say, oh my God, Nicole, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I'm like, why? I'm not. And like, I'm not crying over it. And like, this is actually a good thing if you look at it from the right angle. There's always a lesson. And I say seemingly negative things happen because there's no positive and negative. It's just energy, and it's how we look at it. It's the perspective of it, right? So wherever you're looking from is where you're looking from. And if you look at it as there's a lesson to be learned, sure. If it's feeling weird or negative in some sense, what's your lesson? And number two, what's your opportunity? If you answer those two questions, you always have the focus, clarity to move forward in the right direction. Always.
That's so powerful. And I've learned that a lot through the spiritual metaphysical world. It is all about perspective, like you said. And I love the saying, everything happens for a reason, and you don't always know, unfortunately,
right,
what that reason is. So I love your mindset around that and loving that experience every day, no matter what is coming your way. Not always easy, right? We all are still human, and we're meant to learn something through it. So it's important for you guys to hear what you said. What is the opportunity? What am I learning? Because if you don't learn something, right, it circles back and gets you again.
Yeah.
Maybe dressed up in a little different way. I do have a couple questions here, so let's dive in because we only got like 10 minutes left. And Sean says, I'm struggling with how to help and guide my 20-year-old son, how to be there for him, but also to push him out of his comfort zone, to help him reach his potential, to help him find his own success. So how can we help others? Or, with Sean's exact example, how can he help his son and yet be supportive?
Ooh, that's a big one, right? And that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. The first thing that I suggest is that you understand more about him and what he's thinking. And that's how we can be the most supportive, is taking the time to understand. Doesn't matter what you believe in, their journey is their journey. You can be supportive by surrendering to them, to the universe, so that they can make their own choices, right? We're there to be a good guide, support, mentor, hopefully that they'll come to us and ask us all these things, but there will be times that they don't. And sometimes just knowing that their journey is their journey, even if they're making mistakes, as long as we stay out of trying to have control and being there, loving, guiding, supportive, ask questions to understand deeper. And that will be insightful and make them think a little bit deeper too, as to learning something about themselves. That's what we want to do, is really get inside that person. That's what I do with my clients. And my clients constantly are telling me, I never looked at it like that. I never thought of it that way. Because I'm helping them to understand something that they're going through, and being a supportive person, inquisitive, because I'm helping them, guide them into a space that they can make decisions. I'm not ever telling them what to do. I'm always there suggesting, can I make a suggestion? Can we look at it a different way and see it from their point of view, especially helping to show them a new perspective and allowing them to see it in their time. So I hope that gives you a good start with really initiating whatever conversations that you want to have with your son, and good luck. And I'm always here if you need anything.
I was going to say, yeah, Sean, that was awesome for you to be vulnerable and share that. The other thing that I would suggest, and Nicole, maybe you can back me up on this, but one of the things that helped me with kids, and it actually is funny because it actually applies to everyone, not just your children, but Khalil Gibran's Upon Children is, they come they come through us, not to us. So we're a gateway to help them, but we're not wanting to be that controlling parent. I think a lot of parenting models, it's my way or the highway. You should listen to me. Those kind of things don't work anymore. The kids that are being born today are more evolved. So that's a great tool. Khalil Gibran, Sean, you can message me if you don't know what I'm talking about. And we have one more question here, and I put Nicole's, the VIP member vault. Can you talk on that quickly? And then we'll go to the next question.
The VIP member vault is a space right now. All the freebies are active. I just moved, I'm in the process of moving everything over into this magic portal. And so there's several freebies that are in there right now and more to be added as we go along. So please check it out. There are many different tools that you can use to help propel you into your divine truth, passion, and purpose.
Awesome. So, and I'll put that in the show notes, guys, for those of you listening to the audio in YouTube or iTunes or iHeartRadio, but it's Majik, MAJIK, not MAGIC, Majik, LLC.VIPmembervault.com. And I showed that a little earlier than I normally would because Tara had a question. So Tara, hopefully you go to her member vault and do some more research and study of her freebies. She asks, I am a closet alchemist. Does your alchemical work fall within the framework of the Black Madonna tradition and creativity? If not, how would you describe the context of alchemy in which you work? Tara knows more than I do about alchemy, so I'm excited to hear your answer on this as well.
Well, I have a very interesting and unique piece with that. So I'm going to say no on the Black Madonna. However, I have been tuned in since I was extremely young, and I have had guides appear to me and give me information all of my life. I even had a Lakota tribe very important person. I don't want to say because very important person come to me and teach me a lot of things. And then I actually had a physical person show up to confirm all of those messages were real. And it's been quite an interesting experience. And, you know, my belief when I was a child that my life is boring, I look back and I laugh hysterically about that because it's far from boring.
That's awesome. I love that because it's makes you unique. I love working with unique guests who, you know, are taking a page from their own creation. So I hope that answered your question, Tara. We're wrapping up. I would give one time for one more question. While we do that, let me just take a break and make a couple of quick announcements just before we dive in and waiting for another question. Or if there's anything else that you want to share, Nicole, I'll let you do that next. I want to remind you guys, part of my passion in bringing these guests on is just to, you know, awaken, you know, your true gifts, passions, and pursue things the way that you want to pursue them and create freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, that working smarter versus harder. And next week, Tuesday, I haven't taught this since November, and I don't know when I'll teach it again. I have my List Build to Freedom Sales Training Masterclass. It's 1 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, March 16th. So I would love for you to sign up. Totally free, no strings attached, and bring friends, those that are struggling. Because part of what I learned, and Nicole's even working with this on me right now too, is just being able to put my voice out there, to be seen, be heard. But then how do I get paid when I can't meet with people face to face? So how do you build that tribe? Doesn't have to be an email list. That is one of the things that I found is the most successful for me. Could be maybe you want to start a Facebook group. Maybe you want to start a LinkedIn group. Maybe you are just figuring out what am I supposed to do next. So please attend that class. I'd love to see you guys on Tuesday. Again, go to loiscoffey.com/freedom. So let me go here quick. Doesn't look like we have any other questions. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up? And I know you have a special offer for my community as well. So if you want to talk about that, we can go right there too.
Sure. the special offer that I have, aside from the freebies, we do have, I have a membership group that we go through different themes each month. There's support. There is a ton of information, live trainings, guest speakers in all kinds of areas, and really helping you to move forward in large increments every single month. And I have a membership with that. So there's 2 tiers that come with either the regular version or added group coaching with that. So you get more of that one-on-one time with me within the group, because we do it spotlight. The offer is 30% off the membership for your first 3 months. So it's not just a one-shot deal. You can experience it for 90 days to really get into that space of understanding what it takes to shift and become very creative in your own choices and creating your own life that you love. So that offer is 30% off, and it is Kofi 30 is your code word. So Kofi 30.
Awesome. And thank you for being generous. I love giving. Oftentimes, guys, I have guests always do free offers. So like she already did her membership vault. So you can understand, there's no way we could really explain to you everything about metaphysics or alchemy and what that all means and limiting belief removal. So check out her free gift. But if you're even more intrigued, it's perfect, because 90 days is about the right amount of time to really transform yourself in fitness and health and in wealth. And that's been part of my story too. So I'm so grateful. It's a generous offer. Save 30% off.
Good
and I put the link
till the end of the month.
Okay, great. So there is a timeline, guys.
There is.
You'll want to sign up on that by the end of the month. I will go ahead and put that also in the show notes. And is there a limit on how many people? Is there the first 5 or 10, or what are you doing?
Well, I didn't put a limit.
I gave you a curveball.
I do have a limit for the coaching side of things. So if you come in on the upper side, I do have a cap on how many people I do allow in the gates for the coaching.
Awesome. Cool. I'd love for you, any other last words of wisdom, and then we'll close with our final question. Last
words of wisdom. You do this to me every time. I should know this by now.
This isn't scripted, guys. This is what I love about this. She's just speaking from the heart and whatever comes to her.
Yeah. So, oh God, you guys, you are awesome and amazing and wonderful beings. And what I'm really feeling is the people that are out there watching this right now, there's something that's stirring inside of you. And that thing that's stirring inside of you, or has been nagging at you for a while, like I need to do this, or I should do this. Be kind to yourself, first of all, and just celebrate that you're recognizing something, even if you're not actually doing it yet, because that is one of the 4 squares of habit forming. And so breaking a habit to form a new habit, when you actually can acknowledge what you're doing, even though you keep doing it. So I always tell people that are at this stage, which everybody has this stage with something, whatever it is that you want to change and that you are acknowledging it, but not yet doing it, encourage yourself and celebrate the fact that you are acknowledging it, because that is a celebratory step. Now that you are aware, you then can start to do something. It will happen.
Awesome.
And if you need help, I'm here. So I can help you. There's a 15-minute call that people can book with me just to see if it's right for you or how to move forward. You can do that.
Yes, and I'll drop that clarity call link with Nicole. It's on the screen right now. I'll drop it in the notes as well. And thank you so much, Nicole. I always close with the same question with all of my guests, because the name Healthy and Wealthy and Wise was something that I thought long and hard of and had a major awakening. It was like my guides were saying, "Hey, name your podcast this." I'm like, "Okay. All right, that sounds good." But there's a lot of depth for me. And I love hearing what my guests think of when you hear the phrase healthy and wealthy and wise. Nicole, what comes up for you? What do you think?
When I hear healthy, wealthy, and wise, it's a balance. It's just balance, harmony, alignment. When we're in full alignment, we are healthy, we are wealthy, we are wise in all areas of our lives. It's perfect.
Awesome. I love it. Yay. Well, thanks guys so much for tuning in. Please join my Healthy and Wealthy and Wise Facebook community if you have to be watching this and you aren't already in. That's where all the cool kids are. That's where Nicole is. That's where I am. And a lot of positive, supportive, loving, judgment-free zone of people all wanting to live their best health, their best wealth, their best wisdom. You can log in at healthyandwealthywise.com and subscribe to receive all of my podcast notifications, as well as see who's up next, which next week, Friday, we got a wild one. Her name is Suzanne Poole from London, from the UK, and she's an empowerment coach and a business coach. And here's the thing, we're going to be talking about orgasms. Just so we're clear, she is all about the bedroom and the boardroom. And I'm just going to leave it there because she says it 10 times better than me. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining, and it's going to be very empowering. A great follow-up from Nicole. So please tune in. Bring friends, invite people to this group. And again, share this button, hit the share button if you felt like you got value out of this today, because you just don't know, by paying it forward, you could impact someone's life. So until next time, guys, here's to your best health, your best wealth, and your best wisdom. Bye-bye for now.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, refer a friend, and please drop me a rating or a review. If you do that, I'll reward you with a free 20-minute free coaching session on crafting your journey to your best self. Reach out to me at lois@loiscoffee.com to claim your 20-minute slot. Until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.